new LinkedIn Hiring Pro can't undo your last hire, the no-show. Who set you back because they didn't show up on day one, or day two, or ever again. And now your product launch is delayed because you're talking to alien abduction podcasters to track them down. But LinkedIn Hiring Pro can help make sure your next hire sticks. In fact, businesses who use LinkedIn are 24% less likely to reopen a role in the next 12 months. Hire right the first time with LinkedIn Hiring Pro. Post a free job today at linkedin.com/quality.
This episode is brought to you by Google Health. Stop chasing someone else's definition of health. What matters is what's healthy for you. Google Health offers a new kind of coach built with Gemini for effortless tracking, sleep insights, and holistic coaching tailored to you. Visit googlestore.com to learn more and start a new relationship with your health. Requires Google account, Google Health app, internet, and Google Health premium subscription. Features subject to change. Availability and results vary. Not intended for medical purposes. Works independently of Gemini apps. Check responses for accuracy.
Welcome to The Hypnotist, the show that gives you inside access to cutting-edge hypnosis with real clients facing genuine issues. Brought to you by the hypnotherapist demanded by celebrities, CEOs, and even royalty, Adam Cox. These recordings took place live from Adam's clinic in London's world-famous Harley Street. So, get yourself comfortable and enjoy today's episode of The Hypnotist.
Hi, it's Adam here, and one of my favorite metaphors for life is the metaphor that life is a game. And it's such a rich metaphor because it enables you to think about life in such a way where the game is winnable, that there are rules to the game that you can learn, that there are problems to overcome. And the great thing about this metaphor is that it's very versatile. That some people might say, right, the whole point of life is to win. And someone else might say, well, the whole point of life is to get good at the game or enjoy playing the game. It's a very versatile metaphor. Now, this client that I was working with, very, very successful, had actually achieved a lot in their life. They represented their country in the Olympics, and they were very, very successful in their new industry, their business that they were building. And they really wanted a deep hypnosis session to actually exemplify this metaphor and elaborate this metaphor. And what we concluded is that life is not just one game. How you win the game of relationships is going to be very different from how you win the game of business, for example. So there's this idea that life is games within games, and that there are different versions of you that can play different games differently. And one of the things that this client felt was derailing their ability to play the games was being either distracted or emotionally triggered, and therefore this gets utilized in this actual session. And a frame of reference that I was talking to the client about before is a tiny clip of an animated show called Rick and Morty, where one of the characters plays the game of Roy. And Roy is this child that turns into a man, works in a carpet shop, gets cancer, returns back to the carpet shop, and then dies in the carpet shop. And it's a powerful metaphor within that animated show because it says, right, if life is a game, you are sometimes punished for playing the game that other people tell you is the game. And I think a lot of people grow up hearing that you shouldn't take risks or you should do things that are the safe option. But here's the interesting thing. If you live life based on other people's ideas about what you should do, you might be playing their game and not your own game. And one of the things that I personally believe is that life is about pursuing your sense of purpose or meaning, not other people's. And people within my own family, for example, would consider me doing hypnotherapy and having a podcast as an odd thing to do. Totally fine. They have a different idea as to what is their functional purpose within their game, and I do within mine. And you will within yours. Like there is something that you would say that's what represents winning or progress is within your game. So it's quite a rich metaphor. It was created for an individual. For them, family mattered, business matters, their partner mattered. And I think a lot of people can resonate with those, but it isn't for anyone. There is a reference, for example, that I put in there that there is a game called hedonism, and hedonism can lead to pleasure at the expense of health, or it can lead to other problems. The game is always there, but it isn't necessarily the best game for everyone. So this hypnosis session isn't going to be perfect for you, but it is a very versatile metaphor. So if you like the idea of having a bespoke session just created for you, click the first link in the show notes or check out my website, adamcox.co.uk. There you can actually figure out how to work with me or book a consultation call. And because you listen to this podcast, you get the consultation call at a 50% discount if you use the coupon code podcast when you book that consultation call. For now, though, you might get some real value from this session. So find a quiet, comfortable place where you won't be distracted or disturbed. Relax and enjoy the session. Take a deep breath in, and as you breathe in that feeling of pure relaxation, and as you exhale, give permission to release any stress, any tension, any worries. Just allow the sensations to leave your body in that outward breath. Breathing in resourceful relaxation as you scan your body for any clues of tension, stress, any blocks, and just allow anything that needs to be released to be released. That's it. And the deeper you breathe, the more relaxed you can feel. And the more relaxed you can feel, the deeper you breathe. As your body relaxes, your imagination awakens. And I wonder if you can think of a memory in your childhood where you got lost in a video game. Maybe it was one of those games that feels purposeful, exciting. You figured out what to do, and you learned from previous attempts. And you reach that point where the game feels winnable. And perhaps there was a moment, a flow state, where time didn't exist. That you weren't playing the game, that you were in the game. And if you can recall a memory like that, let me know by nodding your head. That's it. And I want you to think of all the things that game was giving you. The right amount of challenge. And notice that the difficulty of the game is what made it challenging. And the challenge made it engaging. And that if the game was too easy, you wouldn't have wanted to play it. And maybe it didn't start off that challenging. Maybe it was easy. And the challenges got more difficult. But it wasn't just about challenge. It was about breakthroughs, successes, status, accomplishments. I want you to get a sense that the nature of a game is that it is concentrated reality, a distortion of reality. What would take years to do in reality can be done in hours in a game. Think of Monopoly. Within a few hours, you can build a property empire that would take years in reality. It's an echo of reality, but not reality itself. So whether it's a board game, or a video game, or any other game, I want you to get a sense that what if the true value of playing all those games wasn't to get good at playing games, but to understand that the very skills and ways of thinking about the games could be applied to thinking about life. So as you breathe in and breathe out, I want you to get a sense that you are on the threshold of a wonderful update to your core way of thinking about the world. That's it. Your breathing can find its own rhythm, and your eyes can feel relaxed, heavy, and your muscles can relax and soften in whatever order and way feels natural. And there's no need to force any relaxation. You can simply allow yourself to notice the difference between effort and ease, between doing and observing, between the part of you experiencing this moment and the part of you that knows you are experiencing it. Throughout your life, there's always been a part of you inside the experience, feeling the pressure, the excitement, the frustration, the ambition, sometimes anger, and sometimes love, feeling an urge to act. But there's also been another part, a quieter awareness, a deeper intelligence, the part that can notice the feeling before deciding what to do with it, that part that can see the whole game, the whole board, that can recognize the objective, to know you as the player of a game. And what if today the player can become stronger, more present, with more clarity, and not by controlling every thought or preventing every emotion, but by remembering that emotions are just part of the very game. They are signals and signposts, status indicators, like information appearing on the screen, and they are not commands. And so, as you continue listening, you may imagine that you are standing outside an enormous game. Not a game that is trivial, and not a game where nothing matters, but a game that matters because you care deeply about how it is played. I you to imagine you're on the threshold of a game with consequences, relationships, responsibilities, but also opportunities, risks, love and legacy. And in any game you've played, you needed a certain currency to survive, maybe health points or currency. There was a point that you could lose if you run out of that thing. And this game is no different. The primary currency of this game is health and vitality. Because without health and vitality, the game can't be played. Time is another ingredient in this game. So when you think of your resources, health, time, money, but also your emotional resilience are all the things that makes the game playable. Not guaranteed to be winnable, but with health and time, with a stable emotional state, and money to acquire things to make decisions, you are a player in the game. And you may think of a board game or a video game or a virtual reality simulator. And perhaps it is just a screen that begins to appear in front of you. And maybe this game has a name, something simple like life. And just imagine there's a button that says continue and you select it. And this whole world called life begins to load. And maybe you become aware of color, space, movement, or sound. And you don't have to visualize perfectly. Just imagine the idea of stepping into a world of infinite games. And part of the game is to choose your games wisely. Some people see life as a game of hedonism, of selfish pleasure with no regard for anyone else. The irony is that winning that game often means losing a bigger game. Short-term pleasure sometimes leads to deterioration of health, destruction of relationships. And just because the game exists within the game of games doesn't mean you have to play it. So imagine the game of infinite games and start thinking of the games within the game that you want to play. A game of family, of being a parent, the game of business and impacting the lives of others. Health is a resource, but it's also a game to be played. Games of leadership, of relationships, of becoming more fully yourself. Learning is a game, growth is a game. Setting and achieving goals is a game. But each game has different rules, and each game rewards different qualities. And some of these games require a slightly different version of you. You are always you, But have you noticed how you speak differently to a small child than you do to an adult? You're still you, but your voice changes. And there are many different versions of you. It would be inappropriate to be that same version of you that needs to be strict or disciplined or ruthless in the kind of environment that needs compassion, understanding, or deep connection. Some people lose the game because they bring that ruthless business avatar into the family home. Or they bring that emotional softness into negotiations that require pragmatic logic. They can bring pride into situations that require curiosity. Or bring aggression into moments that require patience. Patience is useful in one context, but can feel like hesitation or procrastination in another. But the skilled player understands discernment and context. The skilled player is a shapeshifter, able to choose the correct avatar, the correct skin, with the correct set of abilities. And so in business, where there might be that need for ruthless logic, or clear standards or precise definitions and decisions, with firm boundaries, they can adapt immediately into that version of them. With the ability to remove emotion from the equation and just ask, what serves the mission? What strengthens the structure? What produces ideal outcomes? And while that might be great in the game of business, it might be inappropriate in the game of family. So imagine a carousel where you can choose a new avatar, an avatar of compassion and warmth, patience and presence, the one with understanding and love. And isn't it interesting that it's not about which version of you is right or wrong. It's not good or bad. It's about which version of you is best placed to take on that role. Within certain sports teams, someone can be excellent in one position and useless in another. It's not about are they good or bad, but how well they can be deployed in that particular function. It's true in a sports game, it's true in your life. And I don't know if you have 50 or 100 or 150 different avatars, versions of you that you can step into. But just imagine an artificial intelligent supercomputer at your very core that is able to select automatically the ideal avatar for different games or different dynamics, so that you don't need to decide which version of you. You simply observe when the system hasn't quite got it right, so it can learn from that and then improve the probability that the next time, the optimized avatar, that version of you, will automatically be present in the right environments. You can choose deliberately, but this supercomputer within, we can call it your intuition. Your intuition will also get it right most of the time. As you begin to recognize that life is not one game, it is infinite games within games. And winning one while destroying another is not really winning at all. You can think of at least one person that built a huge business, but they neglected their health. And we can call that losing. Or someone who created wealth, but then lost all connection with their family. They win one game, they lose another. Winning an argument, but then damaging a relationship, that's losing. True winning is balance. Not perfect balance, and not equal time allocated mechanically, but the deeper balance of knowing what matters and refusing to sacrifice the most important goals for the temporary thrill of winning the wrong game. And perhaps you can now imagine your own character, your body, your history, your instincts, your nervous system, your memories, with everything learned from childhood and culture, competition and experience. And this character clearly has strengths. Intelligence, ambition, pattern recognition, the ability to act decisively or survive difficult environments, to make decisions that shift the future. But this character also carries old programming, old buttons and triggers, old landmines buried beneath the surface. A word, a tone, a certain type of disrespect. Perhaps someone that appears dishonest or challenging you. Someone with an attempt to provoke, to rage bait you. And perhaps in the past, when someone stepped on one of those landmines, that explosion of emotion may have felt automatic. The character reacted. The nervous system surged. Maybe the anger rose or the mind assigned meaning. And maybe it seemed as though the other person caused the explosion. But the landmine was already there, placed years earlier, by childhood, by culture, by previous experiences. And the person may have stepped on it, but they did not build it. And so you do not need to spend your life blaming, shaming, or attacking people for activating old explosives. Treat this as a game within a game. That each time someone makes you feel a way that with hindsight you didn't want to feel, the game within the game is to deactivate them so it never happens again in the same way. One by one, calmly, intelligently, permanently. And a way of winning that game is to think, what had to happen? What did I have to believe or interpret to have this reaction? Is another cause possible? And how would I have liked to have handled that same situation? And if I could go back in time, what would I do differently? And then just imagine exactly the same trigger, creating an entirely different response. The first part of the game is to do it within your imagination. But winning that game is when it happens in reality. You're triggered in a particular way, and yet the trigger never leads to an explosion. That's what winning that game is like. And each time you do that, your player gets upgraded with more awareness and more choice and more context and more power. And I wonder if you could imagine within just a few years, if almost all of those landmines are deactivated. Things that bothered you no longer bother you. You're able to remain composed and focused on winning, because these provocations or emotional reactions are distractions, part of winning the bigger game is to not be deterred by things that happen to you. That's it. So that in the future, if someone steps on the same landmine, no explosion, but a signal does appear with information, options, choices, and then you as the player can just breathe. A small pause, allowing awareness to enter. With a thought, what choice is best right now? What was a trigger for anger in the past might be a trigger for intelligence, compassion, understanding in the future. And each time you overcome, you as the player can play the game to a higher level. Provocation is a particular type of game within a game. A mini game. Rage baiting is a game where someone is trying to push your buttons. They want a reaction. And maybe they have an agenda, avoiding accountability or shifting attention. Or maybe they're jealous of all the progress you're making and they want to pull you away from your objective. Or maybe they're just like an NPC. They're not intending to provoke, it's just what they do. Their programming, their wiring. And in the old version of the game, they provoke, you react. They escape and you lose. But the great thing about this game is once you become aware of the game, everything changes. When you see rage baiting for what it is, you have choice. What if remaining calm diffuses the landmine? The moment you see someone attempting to provoke you, What if instead of triggering anger, it triggers a smile? A smile that says, I'm onto you. I know what you're doing. And this won't work on me. Just imagine a situation like that. Someone aims to provoke, and you handle it that way. And just make an assessment that if you can handle it that way, unprovoked, undisturbed, unshakable, if it feels like it enhances your ability to win these games, let me know by nodding your head. And so there it is. Forewarned is forearmed. Sometimes knowing these games means you can avoid being played by the game. You are playing the game. The game does not play you. That's it. I want you to get a sense of how much more choice you have. Misunderstandings are a game. Sometimes through ignorance. Sometimes people deliberately misunderstand. But you can choose the games that deserve you. You choose the games. You pick the battles that advance the mission. You choose the avatar appropriate to the situation. You choose the next move. And life itself begins to feel different, more interesting. Difficulty is not evidence that life is against you. Difficulty is part of the design. Because a game without difficulty would not hold your attention. And a game without resistance would not develop you. You would not become better. A game without final bosses and levels, obstacles and uncertainty would become boring and meaningless. So the appearance of difficulty is a clue that the next level has loaded. New skills are being requested or are required to graduate this next level. You can't win this game. You can only ever advance to a more challenging level. And something within you genuinely loves that. Not the pretense of it. It genuinely unlocks a deeper excitement. The same feeling a skilled gamer experiences when a harder level appears. One that needs focus and interest and readiness. With an internal dialogue that says, "Bring it on, here we go. What does this level require?" And so, from now on, when setbacks occur, your mind can shift automatically. If it's a delay, what does this level require? A problem occurs. What's the solution to this issue? Someone disappoints or betrays you. What meaning is there in this for me? You do not need to interpret the event as punishment. It's all just terrain and difficulty and feedback. In the game of life, you either win or you learn. And the only way you can lose is to stop playing, or to focus too much on one game that all the other games become worse off. And I want you to imagine installing enhanced skills and power-ups, extracting all the wisdom from every part of life experience, every game you've played, every goal you've achieved, every setback you've overcome. Imagine downloading that into the core memory that equips you to play the next phase of this game at a higher level. And if your unconscious is ready to live life as a game and games within games, and everything is an opportunity to either win or learn, let me know by nodding your head. That's it. And I wonder if you could imagine what the next few weeks look like playing a game in this way. What do you do differently when it's just a game? What risks are you willing to take? Decisions you're willing to make? Boundaries you're willing to enforce? Because distraction and interruptions are part of how the game itself tries to make it more difficult. But knowing that can enable you to maintain and retain the focus you need for those games you want to play. And as you hold that thought, it's time to return. You return to reality with a meta-belief, a paradigm shift. Life is not simply like a game. Life is a game of many games. And the first game is to choose which games you're willing to play and which games you have no interest in playing at all. And so as you hold that thought, it's time to float back to the here and now, taking all these ideas and new ways of thinking with you. So take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your nose, and wiggle your fingers and wiggle your toes, connect and calibrate into the here and the now, as I now count from 1 to 10 to awaken you. Starting to count. 1, 2, 3, waking up. 4, 5, 6, more alert. 7, 8, open your eyes, open your eyes. 9, 10, wide awake, wide awake, wide awake. Thank you so much for joining me on today's episode of The Hypnotist. If you've enjoyed this episode or got some value from it, please give it a 5-star rating and review. And maybe you know someone that would also benefit from this particular episode, in which case share the episode with them so they can also get the benefit too. And if you would like to listen to this episode where it's just the hypnosis, so no intro, no outro, no explanation, just the hypnosis and completely ad-free, there will be a link in the description where you can subscribe at a very low cost and only get access to the hypnosis. So if that's of interest, please check that out. Thank you again for being a regular listener of The Hypnotist, and I'll see you again soon for more.
Have no fear, Chosen Foods is here to defend your favorite foods from the forces of seedy oils and sketchy ingredients. With cooking oils, salad dressings, and mayo, all powered by the good fats from 100% pure avocado oil and simple, delicious ingredients. Chosen Foods.